Shackleton's towers above Scott as far as how popularism and how popular he is, whereas back in the day Scott was the man. And so the times changed, and so did our attitude towards who was famous and who we wanted to be famous. His second attempt, he had his own ship and he came down, and of course he got agonisingly close to actually succeeding 100 miles short of the South Pole, and he had to turn back and abandon the expedition. Otherwise he would have lost his men along the way. And then of course 2 years later, the Norwegian, rather brashly and kind of easily in a way, made it to the South Pole, and of course he had to do the trans-Antarctic because the South Pole had been achieved, so his mission was to go across Antarctica to make this happen, and that was in 1916. And of course he didn't succeed at that either, because, and it wasn't until 1957 that someone actually achieved crossing Antarctica, so it was nearly 40 years later before somebody did. When he left South Georgia originally, and he didn't touch land again for 497 days. So if you think a 21-day voyage is long, you should try that one out. And of course the epic part of it, which is the James Caird making its way from Elephant Island to South Georgia, 800 miles. It's not 800 miles distance, but the route that they had to take wasn't a straight line, so it was 800 miles of sailing. And there's a replica of the James Caird in the Grytviken Museum. And on that voyage from Elephant Island to South Georgia, he only managed to get 5 readings in the whole time that they were crossing, and that almanac is in the South Georgia Museum. I'll most likely be at Shackleton's grave, and we can toast Shackleton.